Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from Notion Hub and this is the camera review of Moto H30 Ultra. This phone comes with a triple camera setup on the rear with a 200 megapixel primary camera, a 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with 114 degree field of view, and finally another 12 megapixel camera with telephoto lens which is used for taking portrait shots and offers 2x optical zoom. For selfies, this phone comes with a 60 megapixel camera. Now this is how the camera user interface looks like. It is pretty similar to other phones in the same brand. Now these are some sample shots. First I'll start off with the selfies. Color reproduction is pretty good and the colors look close to reality. Skin tones look good. There is some post-processing going on, but overall it looks nice. Dynamic range and exposure control are pretty good. Now these are some portrait selfies. Edge detection is pretty good. Color reproduction and skin tones look pretty good. Now these are some selfies taken in low lighting conditions. Colors look decent, but they are a bit faded. As these selfies are taken in low lighting conditions, they're not too sharp and you can find grains, but that's to be expected. Now this is a sample footage from the front facing camera. Now this is a sample footage recorded using the front facing camera at 1080p resolution. We also have 4K recording. We'll be showing you the sample footage later. Right now audio is from the phone itself, so check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by the phone. With that said, I'll be just walking around, so check out the footage. Footage is pretty stable, color reproduction is good, image is pretty sharp, exposure control and dynamic range are very well managed. Next, we can also record video in 4K resolution using the front-facing camera. And here's the sample footage. Now this is the sample footage recorded using the front-facing camera at 4K resolution. Once again, audio is from the phone itself, so check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by the phone. With that said, I'll be just walking around. Even though this is a 4K video with a front camera, footage looks pretty stable. Color reproduction is pretty good and the colors look pretty close to reality. And finally, footage looks pretty sharp. Next, we also have the dual video mode where we can record video with both the front and rear cameras at the same time. And this is a sample footage. Now these are some sample shots from the rear camera. These pictures have good exposure control and good dynamic range. Colors look a bit saturated, but they are pleasing to the eyes. As for the color temperature, it is slightly to the cooler side. Now these are some pictures taken with the wide angle camera. Exposure control and dynamic range are pretty good. Colors look saturated, but they are pleasing to the eyes. As for the color temperature, it is slightly on the cooler side. Next, this phone also comes with a dedicated 200MP mode. Even though this phone comes with a 200 megapixel camera, by default it compresses the image size to save space and improve quality. But for some reason, if you want to take a 200 megapixel picture, like the big ultra resolution image, you can enable this mode and then take pictures. Then you'll get the ultra resolution pictures. Now these are some pictures taken in low lighting conditions. In low lighting conditions, this phone does a pretty decent job. Images are slightly on the softer side, that's to be expected, but the color reproduction and the sharpness looks pretty decent. As for the colors, they are slightly to the warmer side. Now these are some pictures taken in low lighting conditions with the night mode. Overall, images taken with the night mode look much brighter and sharper than the regular auto mode. As for images taken in indoor lighting conditions, night mode makes the pictures look brighter and sharper. Next we have AI color portrait, which once again looks pretty good with the subject is in color and the background is in black and white. Now for the video department, this is a sample footage recorded in 1080p resolution at 30 fps. This one offers stabilization and it looks pretty good. Exposure control and dynamic range are decent. Colors look slightly vivid, but they do look nice. Now this is a sample footage recorded using the wide angle camera. This one also offers stabilization with the wide angle camera, so the footage looks pretty good. Exposure control and dynamic range are good. Colors look a bit saturated, but they do look pleasing to the eyes. Next, we can also record video in 4K resolution. Footage looks pretty stable, exposure control and dynamic range are nice. Color reproduction is also pretty good. Colors look pretty close to reality. Next, we can also record video in 8K resolution on this phone. And here's the sample footage, downscaled to 1080p. Footage is shaky, but exposure control and dynamic range are pretty good. Color reproduction is also pretty good. If you can just hold the phone steady, you can get pretty good footage. Next, we have AI color portrait mode video for the rear camera. Here's the sample footage. In this mode, the subject is in color, but the background is in black and white. Now, just like any other phone out there, we also have slow motion on this phone, and here's the sample footage. So guys, what do you think about the camera performance of this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video. With that said, this is Nikhil signing off. See you in my next video.